Hello. Or maybe we wait for everybody else to walk in. Run, run. Hi, everyone. Big shoes to fill. Great presentations, very cool insights. I have to say that maybe I wish I had known some of those things a few months back. I have to be honest, this is it's not an easy position to stand here today because, as the title of my talk says, the road is paved with good intentions. I also I didn't make a presentation because I thought it's a personal story, and I want to emphasize that it's a personal story, it's only my side, about things that happened. So it's actually admitting that things are not always great, even if you hope they are. But first, I have to take you back a few years. It was December 2020 when I got a phone call from a previous partner here at the firm, Studio Dott. And he called me and said, "Hey, Charlotte, I'm leaving the company. We are looking for a replacement. Maybe you should have a chat with the people who manage it at the moment." I was curious because, at the time I was 28. And it's very cool that somebody calls you and is like, "Hey, maybe this is something you could do." So I was excited. And I came over, I want to say over here, but it's not here. It was across the road in what I now can call our, how do I call it? Kruipkot. It's horrible office. But we are very proud that we are here today. But it was cozy, it was nice. And the atmosphere was really great. So I walked in and I met the CEO and founder of Studio Dott. His name is Peter. And we talked. It's what you do before you get married. You go on a lot of dates. So I went on a lot of dates, so to speak, with Peter. We talked for hours and hours and hours because, it's a big commitment as well. It was always the intention for him to set aside some of his responsibilities, for me to take them on. But it's you have to share a vision of how things should be done in order to do that job. So we talked, and what inspired me was, first of all, I was quite honored that they saw a potential that at that moment I did not necessarily see in myself. So we quickly asked, "Hey, maybe you could be a partner at our firm and do the things here that now somebody with way more experience is doing." So that was fun. I had an instant feeling of respect. They listened. It felt like they cared about my opinion. There was no repercussion when I voiced that some things that they did were strange, or I asked them, why exactly are we discussing this topic? Isn't this the obvious solution to the problem? They were like, yeah, maybe. So that was nice. But also the people themselves. So at Studio Dott, we truly believe that in order for us to work together, you need to be able to respect each other, and respect the person behind whatever it is that you're doing, and also communicate in order to voice things that maybe are not how you would do them. I love that Nele talked about what is the advantage of having a psychological safe environment. It makes for innovation. And innovation is at the core of what we do. We innovate. We come up with new things. We create new products and designs. And for that to work, imagine if you're working on a project and you're really proud of it, and your colleague sits next to you and he goes like, or she goes like, "Oh my God, that's blue. I don't like it." No, that doesn't work. You have to be able to respect the process. That person has worked really hard on it. And so here at Studio Dott, it's insane. For designs to be better, you have to be able to voice feedback in a manner that is very open and constructive, so that the work that we do and my colleagues do is better. It's better for our clients, it's better for ourselves. Instead of saying, "Ew, blue," we say, "Well, this blue gives me the feeling that the product will be male dominant, you know, to speak in stereotypes. And the product might be for, I don't know, ladies in their 70s. They prefer pink. I don't know. So you have to be able to create an environment where this is possible, that you are able to voice what is going on. So with that culture in place, they also have a culture code, and it's very much based on respect. You can be whoever you want to be, or that's what we say at least. You can be whoever you want to be. And when something goes wrong, we talk about it. You know, you talk to the person and you go like, hey, this doesn't feel right. Can we talk about it? Can we change it? Everything is open for discussion. Why did that trigger me personally? I'm not a designer. But for me to do my job, you know, if they tell you, hey, here's the steering wheel of the boat with 30 people on it, and I turn and I cannot always see the person standing completely in the back, somebody has to tell me, hello, somebody is falling off that boat. So I actually trust my colleagues to tell me when something is up, you know, because I don't always know. I don't have that experience. I don't have the baggage yet to know everybody. I was new in the company, but I was also new in the role. So it's not easy. And to be honest, what I noticed, and that's very strange, I don't know, maybe show of hands, who is in a leadership position here tonight? Okay. Being what I personally noticed, for some strange reason, a fog arises. If we stick with the metaphors of the boat, a fog arises. And so you need to or actively blow and go out there to talk to people, because you don't necessarily see everything anymore. When you're a colleague, you have that trusted bond, like, hey, we're two and two, we have the same, I want to say enemy, but it's the wrong word, but so you connect more easily. In the teams I worked before, I knew everything. I knew everyone, and I know every pain point of everything that had happened. And here I am in this role, and I'm very much relying on my colleagues to tell me something is up, but because I can't necessarily see it due to that fog. So I was like, okay, I can do this. You know, this is an environment that I feel safe enough myself to try to guide that ship. And so I did. And, you know, for, as I said, the safety that you need to be able to give feedback, to do those innovative projects that we do, means that sometimes, even for my role, you have to have hard conversations. And it's not easy, it's not nice. You can't always be the nice person. Sometimes you have to tell somebody, look, this was not great what you did. Let's talk about how we can improve it for the next time. And you do not control how they feel about it. They could have had a terrible night's sleep, so how they react to that, you don't know. Conversations can be hard, and the reaction that they get or the way that they are perceived can be very different than what you expect or what your intentions are. So, you know, I check in. It's what Elke also said. You check in after. You have the hard conversation and you circle back. You're like, okay, you know what? Tomorrow, this is a hard conversation. Tomorrow I will ask you how you are doing, how you perceive this. And, you know, you do it. The next day, you get up, you go to the colleague. Hey, let's circle back this afternoon. Do you have a half an hour? Let's plan it in. And then we talk about it. And then we give them space to voice any concerns, and you ask them the question, hey, you know, we talked about this yesterday. Is there anything else you would like to share? You would like to tell me, what does it resonate, you know? And so you do, because we've heard a lot of theories here tonight, and it's very important, and the practical tips are important, but you have to do them every day again, because it's not something that stays, you know. You can't just go out there like, hey, here's our big culture, and then it's fine. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to be consistent. You have to go back and keep on asking them, hey, this happened. How do we feel? And we have a culture code. It's a little booklet that everybody gets. We're very proud of it. So, you know, I can stand here and look to you people, and you guys can be like, oh my God, she's doing such a great job. She's only 30. No. Because unfortunately, even with all the good intentions, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions, things can go wrong drastically, which is what happened. And I wish I could stand here today and be like, guys, this was horrible, but we survived. No, it doesn't work that way. The road to hell is still paved with good intentions. So at some point, a few months ago, last year, a colleague of mine came to me, and they voiced that they were feeling that actions of other colleagues were making them feel uncomfortable. And you can't deny feeling. So if somebody feels a certain way, you can't deny it. But a process that happens in the brain, of my brain, and this is my personal story, is that you immediately assess a situation. You know, we're entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers. We see things and we're like, okay, I can fix this. You have to know I'm the greatest go-getter out there. This building was not built. I arrived here, I was like, this building will be built. We will move the 11th of March, 2022. We did. But with feelings, you can't. It's not something that you can save. It's not something that you can build up again, you know? And so what we did, to be very honest, my reaction was like, okay, you will get space and you can do what you need to do. Do you need to work from home? Fine. Do you need to go out during lunch breaks? Fine. Do you need psychological support? We'll pay for it, no worries. And it's very sad to see that for a company like ours, where human interaction is so important, what I lacked to see was that it was isolating because we were not including the human interactions anymore, you know? We only paved way for making it all better, but you're talking with humans. So all the theories that I just recited, the things that I actually do every day in a moment of crisis, blank. I was like, I'm doing great. I am giving all a space. This is awesome. No, this was terrible. And it even got worse, you know, because we were like, we need to give them privacy. We are not gonna talk about this. No way, that's unrespectful. But again, if you're isolating someone and you're not talking about it or you're not giving them the space to voice, then they're gonna find other ways to talk about it. And so they talked to colleagues, which is normal. And then all of a sudden, something that started out as one thing became everyone. And that's when we realized, oola, let's take a step back and let's reprioritize. And let's go back to what we do, what we should do. Talk and communicate and ask and consider. Remember the person sitting in front of you, telling them, hey, this happened. Are you okay? Asking them, look, we've talked about this. We made some arrangements, afspraken, arrangements. How do you feel about them? Are you okay? You know? Not necessarily to actually, that they, I think, needed to say something about it, but it is so important to show them that you will make consistent time for them to voice, and that you will not neglect that. Because going back and asking them, and even if whatever it is that they have to say does not resonate, you do have to build that consistency and make sure that you show up and you keep doing that to create that safety again for them to feel heard. Or at least that is in my opinion. That's what we try to do. Not only with the person speaking up in the first place, but with everybody else. Because this was not only something that concerned this one particular colleague, it concerned the entire company. So at some point, we even made a list. And we were like, okay, we need to get back to the basics and talk to everyone and repeat and be consistent with everybody else as well, that we don't forget. So, and that's what we're still doing, because as I said before, I wish I could stand here and be like, guys, it was horrible and now it is great. It's not. We're not there yet. And it's a constant something in your mind that needs constant attention. You need to keep working on it, to keep finding space for people to voice, to give feedback and listen to it. It's important, and give them the space. So I wish I could give you a guideline. I can't. But I can leave you with two things. For the people here who are not in leadership positions, who are just colleagues, I urge you to be brave. Be brave and speak up when something is not up to your standards. It's not easy, I know, but be brave. You're doing your management a favor by telling them. They don't necessarily always see through the fog. Please be brave and speak up. For the people who are in leadership, be brave enough to listen. It's not easy. You're fighting every day to work for the people who work for you, to make sure that their environment is safe and that they can do the things that they want to do. So it's easy to resent the people who keep coming back with feedback. Be brave enough to listen to them, because whatever it is that they're voicing, take it into account. Self-reflect. It is needed for you to grow as well. So if I would have a slide, it would say, be brave.
Yeah, are there questions? I don't know if there are questions. Okay.
My question is, you can ask, how are you? And make the space of, okay, how are you really doing? Share your feelings. But what if you ask it to a person and they just put on a wall, and even though you know they're not doing well, and they're like overloaded, and they just focus on all the work, but like interpersonally, they take like a big distance, they're super cold and put on a wall. What do you do then?
Yeah. It happens so often. And then when my reflection is, I always, when this happens to me, I always hope that they find reconcile with other colleagues. I don't believe, I'm certainly not the trustee of everyone in the company. And for the people who don't find their way to me, I trust that they will find their way to other colleagues. I think, yeah, and if you can only do so much, it's sad to say, but that's what I repeat with everyone here. I can only help if I know what is up, but if you don't tell me, then I can't help you. Also because I don't believe in other people necessarily voicing it without the consent of somebody else. But then you can only hope that they find other outlets. If I would see somebody overworking themselves, I would try to lower their workload.
And if they then even push back and they don't want to talk about it?
You can only do so much. I think if you're part of the leadership in a company, you already carry a lot of load. At the end of the day, you cannot be responsible for what happens with everybody on all aspects of their life. It's hard. If you care, it's very hard. But if that is what's going on, something is gonna snap sooner or later. So I hope never, but they will have to learn themselves to open up about it, I think. Yes.
I would, at that moment, voice exactly what you say to them. Like, I worry about you.
Yeah.
I know I'm in leadership, you won't trust me by default because I'm in a leadership position. I hope you find someone else to talk to. And that's the only thing you can do, but that's something
Yeah,
you can say.
exactly, yeah. It's a very good
I
suggestion.
worry about you. That is, again, vulnerability.
Yeah.
You can't force people to talk because actually that would lower the psychological safety.
Yeah. So I think so. It's a good suggestion. Thank you.